Thousands of years ago, long before the very first toothbrush was ever sold in a store, and even before the Great Pyramids were completely finished, the people of ancient Egypt faced a terrible and gritty problem that made their lives miserable because the desert wind blew sand everywhere, covering their homes, their beds, and worst of all, their food. So when they baked bread, tiny rocks and grains of sand would get trapped inside the dough, acting like sandpaper that ground their teeth down every time they ate, causing holes and terrible toothaches that made people cry out in pain. The Egyptians were very proud people who loved beauty and wanted to look like their perfect gods and goddesses, so having a broken or black smile was simply not acceptable to them, which forced them to become the world's first inventors of a way to keep teeth clean and white, leading to the creation of a strange and powerful powder around the year 5000 BC. This was the dawn of toothpaste, but it was nothing like the minty cool gel you squeeze from a tube today. Instead, it was a rough and scratchy mixture that would probably make you run away screaming if you had to put it in your mouth right now. To make this ancient cleaning powder, they gathered some truly shocking ingredients that sound like a witch's potion, starting with the crushed hooves of dead oxen, which they ground up into a fine dust, and then they mixed in burnt eggshells because the sharp bits helped scrape the yellow stains off their teeth, along with pumice, which is actually a type of volcanic rock used to scrub rough skin. They took these harsh ingredients and mixed them with water to create a paste, but since they didn't have plastic toothbrushes, they had to use their own fingers to rub this gritty, rocky sludge directly onto their teeth and gums, scrubbing hard until the dirt was gone, even if it made their mouths bleed a little bit. As time went on, the Egyptians realized that while this mixture cleaned their teeth, it tasted absolutely horrible, so they decided to improve their invention by adding rock salt and dried iris flowers to make it smell better, and sometimes they even added grains of pepper to give it a spicy kick that would wake them up in the morning. This became a very serious business, and we know this because archaeologists found an ancient papyrus scroll in a museum in Vienna that contained the world's oldest written recipe for toothpaste, proving that the Egyptians were mixing exact amounts of rock salt, mint, dried iris flower, and pepper to create a formula that was actually very effective at fighting gum disease, even though it was painful to use. While the rest of the world was still walking around with dirty teeth, the Egyptians were obsessed with dental hygiene, and they even developed the chew stick, which was a twig frayed at one end to act like a brush, allowing them to push their special paste into the gaps between their teeth. It is truly amazing to realize that every time you brush your teeth before bed tonight, you are copying a habit started by people who lived in the desert thousands of years ago, people who were brave enough to rub crushed bones and rocks on their teeth just to keep their smiles bright and beautiful, changing the history of the world forever with their strange but brilliant invention.